Ha, you are now clinched up. You can't get out of hassle. You subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast. You know how he about to.
Yo, what up, what up? Hope you're doing good. My name's David the Crook, and today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you how to create an intro for your podcast or for your YouTube videos. Pretty much if you need music in front of your content, I'm going to show you the best way how to do it. I got my boy Demigod Fallacy about to come through later on today. What we're going to do is we're going to be producing, recording, as well as mixing and mastering the whole podcast intro today. And I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. The intro we're doing today is for a podcast called Clinched Up with Jesse Diaz. So if you're into like fighting, Muay Thai, or anything like that, I'll put the link to the podcast down below so you could check it out. But before we get into that, if you could subscribe and drop a like, I'll greatly appreciate it. If you're into anything that comes down to recording, producing, mixing, or mastering, this is a channel for you, so make sure you stay up to date with every video I will be dropping.
David, bless this beat.
Fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ. When you fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ. When you fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
Hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast. You know how he about to do a student of the game. Yeah, probably a sensation. You break down the whole fight in every combo too. Stand up on the ground in the cage. MMA, catch the fade anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle Diaz.
When you fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ. When you fight the champ, you gotta take it from the
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do a student of the game. Yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA, catch the fade anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle Diaz.
When you fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
I did a couple changes to the beat. The first time we recorded it, I think we went up to like 40 seconds, but after talking to my boy Jesse, pretty much the guy we're making this podcast for, he said around 30 seconds, so pretty much 30 seconds is here. A little backstory to the beat is just a little short intro with its time in the front. All the drums come in, the vocals are going to come in next. We're going to be focusing on mixing the beat a little bit. I'm going to show you a little bit how I mix my beats. Pretty much just mostly just leveling, panning, adding a little flavor here and there. But for the most part, I keep my mixing very, very simple, especially when it comes to beats, because a lot of these drum samples, a lot of these sounds have already been processed. Like, for example, this loop here. It's already been processed. It already has EQ, it already has compression. So I'm just doing little subtle changes, emphasizing little things here and there, adding space, adding width throughout the whole beat. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that. Pretty much finished mixing up the beat. This is how it sounds.
You fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ. Fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
Mixed version sounds so much better than like the flat, dry, raw beat. So I'm gonna export this. Alright, so I imported the beat into the project. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna be focusing on the mixing. I did a little quick mix the day we recorded the vocals, but other than that, we're gonna be tweaking it and we're gonna make it sound as best as it could be.
You are now clinched clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah. More retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game.
Because the vocals have a lot of harsh S's, I am using a de-esser and I'm just de-essing as much as I can. And then from there, after I have the vocals de-ess, I'm going to add a compressor. RVox, one of my go-to compressors. This compressor works amazing. It's probably like one of the top 5 vocal mixing plugins, if I'm being honest.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah. Probably is to say to you, break down the whole fight, in every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA, catch the fade, anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle. You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah. Probably is to say to you, break down the whole fight, in every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage.
With the SSL, what I did is cut out some low, cut out about 107, cut out a little bit of the highs, just kept it around 18K, boosted up 16K, about 3.4 dBs. And then from there, what I did is I cut out some boxiness at around, what is that, like 430 hertz. It honestly all depends on the mic you're using. It's going to be depend where you cut, but you can look anywhere in between like 300 and 500. Usually, for example, the mic we used was a Slate Digital mic, and usually that's around the 400. And then because I am using a virtual mic here, it kind of changes it up. But my old mic, the one I was using for a while, the Rode NT1A, that one was like at 400 exactly. That's where that boxiness was for a majority of every rapper, unless like it was like a younger person and their vocals aren't as deep as most people. Learn your mic and then you'll be able to see what frequencies you need to boost and cut.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah. Probably is to say to you, break down the whole fight, in every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA, catch the fade, anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle. You are now clinched up, you can't get out. News, Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah. Probably is to say to you, break down the whole fight, in every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA, catch the fade, anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle. You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah. Probably is to say to you, break down the whole fight, in every combo too.
See, maybe we could add a dope effect at the end. Slow it down.
Jesse the Hassle.
Fight the champ.
Ooh, it sounds cool.
Hassle D.
You fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
What if we add like a cool speed up right here at the end, everything slowed down. Let's speed it up.
You are now clinched, tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle D.
Fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
Okay. And then from there, I think something cool we could add is like some delay. I added some delay, but I'm gonna automate it. So I'm gonna go here, go to touch. Let me turn it off first. Take it off, and then go to touch, and then we're gonna add it.
With Jesse the Hassle D.
Fight the champ.
Horrible. That was horrible. Let me turn it off. Let's add it.
Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle D.
Fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
Alright, that's cool. We just need to fix it, work on it a little bit. Let's get it.
Tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle D.
Fight the champ.
Let's see.
Tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle D.
Fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
In to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle D.
Fight the champ.
Let's see. Got it 1/4. Let's add some more feedback. Maybe we need some feedback.
Clinched up with Jesse the Hassle Deer.
Fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
Jesse the Hassle Deer.
Fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
Alright, let's add sidechain on it. Alright, let's see how it sounds. Touch.
You are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle Deer.
Fight the champ, you gotta take it from the champ.
Okay. That works like that. Let me just take it all the way off. That way it automates it. I mean, for the most part, the vocals sound pretty fire.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. To say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA. Up on the ground, in the cage, MMA. Catch the fade, anytime, any day. You are
For the dubs, what I did is I kind of just cut them up in little parts, wherever there's like little pauses, and I'm just going to pan them left and right. And all I'm going to do to it is just pan it just a little bit, just to add a little bit of movement onto just the overall fullness of the vocals.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too.
Now let's get to the mastering. Overall, the song's mixed. After we finish mixing the song, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to get to the mastering of the overall song. This, as you can see, the mix audio, it's nice, it's big, it's thick, it's consistent, it's exactly what you want within a mix. And when it gets to the mastering part, this is probably like the best part, is just overall enhancing every little part of the mix. To do that, I'm going to start off with an EQ, just a Pultec EQ. I usually master at the loudest part, but because it's like a podcast song, it's like a hook. So we're just going to be looping the hook, which is the loudest part of the track.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA. Catch the fade, anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle. You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA. Catch the fade, anytime. You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle. You are now clinched up, you can't get. You are now clinched up. You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah, probably us. You are now clinched up, you can't get. You are now clinched up. You are now clinched up, you can't get out. You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA. Catch the fade, anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle. You are now clinched.
This Dynamics Diablo plugin is so amazing for mastering. I freaking love it. That plugin and this plugin here together, oh my god, bro, this shit's so fire. After I got some EQ on it, I want to compress the vocals. I'm just gonna do a little quick bus compression. So I'm gonna do a slow attack and a fast release, and I'm just gonna get some subtle compression. I don't want anything too crazy.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah. You are now clinched up, you can't get out. You are now clinched up, you can't. You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student. More retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do. A student of the game, yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too.
Recently, I've been using the Smart EQ3 to like mix and to master. Pretty much on everything just because it's so fire, because it's an EQ, but at the same time you can make it a dynamic EQ. So it just like adds a little bit of life to the overall track, because like instead of an EQ, like you just put an EQ on it and you boost a certain frequency and then it just boosts throughout the whole song. But this, it makes it like a dynamic EQ. So for example, when the hi-hats come in, you're gonna see this part here, it's gonna be going down, and then at certain parts it's gonna be going up, and throughout the whole frequency spectrum you're gonna be seeing this EQ slope just be like moving up and down. It's just gonna add life, because in certain parts it's gonna lower certain frequencies and other parts it's gonna boost certain frequencies, and it's just like I feel like it adds life to the overall track, because it's not just like stale like an EQ is just like blah. You know, you boost 16K, it's boost up 16K throughout the whole track. Not with this. With this, if it doesn't need to be boosted at that 16K, it will actually lower if it's too much.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do a student of the game. Yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA, catch the fade anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle. You are now clinched up.
I just feel like it just balances out the whole master track. Freaking love that plugin. That's another one of my favorite plugins from here. I'm gonna add a soft clipper just to clip in that low end.
You are now clinched up. You are now clinched. You are now clinched. You are now clinched up. You can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do a student of the game. Yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight.
And when it comes to mastering the loudness of the overall track, I would just suggest you master it like a normal song. I use LUFS to master, so I usually aim for like -9. I feel like that's a good sweet spot to master your songs overall. Most people say -12, but I've done a lot of songs at -12, and I feel like it's still too quiet to compete with like professional songs. Like I've seen people master to -6, -3. I do -9 just because I feel like that's kind of like the sweet spot. Like it's loud enough to compete, but it's not loud enough so like the streaming sites will lower it too much, or it's not too low that if the streaming sites increase the volume, it's gonna like mess it up with whatever limiter they use or whatever processing they do. I feel like -9 is a cool sweet spot. I haven't had much trouble or anything with it when I master majority of songs at -9, so I like mastering at -9. I think you should just do what works best for you, but my opinion, -9 works cool.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do a student of the game. Yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA, catch the fade anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle.
Probably add like a little fade at the end, something like this.
The Hassle.
Perfect. This is how the mixed version sounded.
You are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel.
Overall, it sounds really good, but when you master it,
you are now clinched up, you can't get out, I hassle you. Subscribe to the channel for more retired latest news. Jesse on the podcast, you know how he about to do a student of the game. Yeah, probably us to say to you, break down the whole fight, end every combo too. Stand up on the ground, in the cage, MMA, catch the fade anytime, any day. Yeah, you are now tuned in to Clinched Up with Jesse the Hassle. The Hassle.
overall, that's how you make a podcast song from scratch all the way to the very end, from producing to recording to mixing and mastering. Pretty much exactly what you need to create an intro or an outro to your podcast or to a YouTube. If you want me to create an intro for your podcast or for your YouTube, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. Everything will be down below in the description. Or if you want me to mix and master any of your songs, feel free to hit me up down below. The link will be in the description. Now, if you're into recording, mixing, and mastering, and you need some help when it comes to recording, mixing, and mastering, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram telling me mentoring, and I'll give you more information on how I could help you get better at recording, mixing, and mastering. Other than that, I want to remind you to subscribe and drop a like. My name's David the Crook, and I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to drop a like and drop a comment telling me if you like the song. If not, it's cool. Let me know that you didn't like the song. It don't really matter to me, but hey, some people don't like everything. So, peace.
Any day, yeah, you are now tuned in to catch up with Jesse the Hassle.